Strike a pose, strike a pose, strike a pose, fling your hair and strike a pose, yeah. Strike a pose, strike a pose, strike a pose, wipe it down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Green Talk by Green Care Solutions on KCAA NBC Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and YouTube. Now, this is a cannabis-friendly and educational program. You must be 21 years of age to listen. And remember, we're not doctors, but Green Care Solutions has doctors for you. I'm your host, Angela Mazzanti, and I'm here with some amazing women today.
Hey, I'm your other host, Trippy Trees, and we got a special friend, Sarah, here.
Hi, Sarah here. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Sarah Hendricks.
Green Talk is a program created to educate you about cannabis. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Green Care Solutions 420 and call them for your Green Care Solution needs at 951-609-4071.
And today we have a very special guest, a celebrity guest, I must say. We have the one and only Jasmine David, a singer, model, and a thriving entrepreneur. How are you doing today, Jasmine?
Hey, what up, ladies? Very good, very good. How you guys doing?
Wonderful, wonderful. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Yeah, because you were on the first couple episodes, right?
I was just about to say, she never got to meet you, but I did earlier.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for this one, especially with the topics,
Yeah, so today's definitely going to be about like women in cannabis and the cannabis industry. So I really want to know more about you. Like, what's your background? How did you get into all of this?
So as you said before, singer, model, entrepreneur. I started off in the game, modeling, 2015 Video Vixen of the Year. I got into my music, and with the weed, I was one of the first girls in the hip-hop urban culture who came out with her first strand. I first came out with Dr. Zodiac and Corrupt. We had Jazzy Kush, Banana Moon Rocks.
Oh, wow.
I was the first girl with that team. And then now I ventured off. I came out with Jazzy Rolling Papers. It's all organic, non-cancerous glue. First pink FDA-approved pink paper. Brown, ultra thin. And now we've got the Jazzy CBD, which the whole CBD line, I really wanted to focus on, getting better as opposed to just getting high, because I'm really into fitness and all that and about getting well and helping people. And yeah, I have my music and I'm still just pushing everything forward.
That's amazing.
I know, that's it's crazy how much you're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Yeah, you got to just keep trucking. Keep trucking. Sometimes stuff gets slow. Sometimes you might feel like you might hear a lot of no's and stuff, especially as a woman, which is why I'm looking forward to today's topic, because, a lot of times you will hear no, but you got to keep trucking and follow what you feel is right for you.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So since we have so many amazing women here, I think everyone should kind of go around and like tell everybody what we all do, like individually. So that way people get a better idea of like, I feel like people just see us on social media and see a pretty girl and they're like, oh, she just gets paid to be pretty. Like, great. But a lot of us do so much more than that.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
So Trippy, tell everybody about what you do.
So I kind of started off my whole thing was I didn't even know where this was going to take me. I didn't even know influencer was a thing back then either. So I literally I would go to dispensary, buy a brand that was top brand or a brand that I really liked, and I would just post about it. But I took like a pretty photo, because back then no one was taking pretty photos, of cannabis. Everyone's like, what are you doing? It's just weed, So I kind of like made it creative and I got fun with it. And then brands actually were coming to me like, wait, can we pay for this? Can we like do a campaign on this, And it just kind of grew from there. And then I just created a name from there and just, I don't know. It was just kind of a lack of creativity back then, but also like, it was also very over-sexualized and everything. So I kind of just like did my own thing and it just kind of like got me here, I guess.
And then we also have Sarah Hendricks here, who is an amazing cannabis model and a great friend of mine. So tell us a little bit about what you do, Sarah.
So I am a model right now, but I also work in the cannabis industry, and I model with cannabis products, and I also do a lot of events like High Times and Cannabis Cup and those events. And I also work with a really big cannabis company in LA.
It's fun.
And it's awesome that it kind of like ties us all together as women in it, because like there's far and few women really in the cannabis industry, like that I remember from like back in the day.
Yeah, that's true. And then how'd you get started, Angela? I've always wanted to know that.
So I got started. I used to work for a delivery service and kind of like started getting more into like weed that way, and then ended up moving, and it brought me to Fresno for a while, and was kind of just like this is boring. Like I just smoke weed every day, like, but I'm not doing anything cool. And then moved to LA, and that's when everything really started kicking off for me. So I started as like a booth girl. Worked my way up to like eventually hosting cannabis events, all while like modeling still. And I would just like take photos like smoking weed. So I kind of like tried to push in that industry. Like I already smoke weed, like I already take pictures, why not? And now started doing like content creation for brands and helping brands connect with other like anywhere from like models to influencers to celebrities and stuff like that, and being that middleman at this point.
Yeah, and I think it's like, at least for me, when I first found out about you, I love that you were one of the biggest, or I still feel like you're still one of the biggest female hosts of events. Like you actually host an event, you know what I mean? Like really big events too. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and then Jasmine, how long have you been doing like all of this?
I would say now, I guess 9 years.
Did you ever think like back then that it was going to grow to what it is for you?
Absolutely not. Because when I mean, coming out of high school, I was an athlete. I never thought of myself as a model. And I didn't think that was something that I would get into. I just did a photo shoot and things kind of trickled on. And then, like we were talking about before, with the whole cannabis thing, you know, it wasn't big like that, how it is now, or accepted. You know, it's still kind of taboo. But I mean, when it first came out, it was real taboo. You know, it wasn't legal in the States. If the Instagrams are still getting deleted, which I mean, I hope that soon stops. But from when it first started, everything, you couldn't post anything, you couldn't say anything. Even, you know, for me, just with my whole brand, I had, you know, publicists and managers tell me, you know, you need to drop the cannabis thing. It's not a good look. Big brands won't pick you up. And I kept getting told that, but I'm like, no, I'm like passionate about this. You know, I really wanted to have my own strand and keep going with what I was doing. I liked it, you know, I was into it. But now it's like, you know, it's so much more accepted, and I mean, it's a lucrative thing, and I think it's great where it's gotten to.
Do you feel like back when you started, like it was even harder to be a female and try to do this rather than like if you were a guy? Do you think it would have been easier?
Yeah. And I think not just back then, I think it still is, you know, like from the music industry to the cannabis, like it's always just the women, we have to work a little bit harder, you know, especially like if you have that stereotype, you know, you look good or you have followers and stuff. They'll just be like, oh yeah, that's just an IG person or something. It's like, no, you know, I actually put in a lot of work. I'm actually here. I'm actually there. And I know you guys can relate. You know, people might think that, you know, you don't have anything up here, but you do, you know, and it's like, okay,
probably more than some of these guys.
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's like, you know, you always got to constantly work hard to prove yourself. But I mean, it's part of the game, and it's cool, you know, that we are progressing. And it's cool to see, like, you know, women like yourselves, like pushing and trucking and making a name, you know.
I think where a lot of like females in general like fail to take advantage of is like all of us kind of coming together, because like, I mean, I know as girls, some of us can get petty at times and whatnot, but there's a lot bigger like play if we like all work together to like really end like any stereotype, any sexism, anything like that.
I agree.
Now, have you ladies experienced any sexism? And I kind of want to hear everybody's like opinion, or if you guys have any like specific stories you might want to like touch on about like getting sexist remarks, or like dealing with like brands who may have not taken you as seriously as you wanted to be taken seriously.
Yeah, I think like Jasmine literally said everything on point. Like, exactly. You don't get taken seriously sometimes, especially if you look good, you know, or you have a following. They're just like, oh, that's all they're good for, you know, and they don't understand. You might actually have a degree. You might actually have a business. You might actually know what they're talking about, you know, and actually keep up with the conversation. A lot of times they just kind of like, do you understand that, you know, they kind of dumb talk you a little bit just because you have followers, or just because you're a girl and you're pretty. But I feel like you said, it's like any industry too, you know, so I don't know.
Yeah, I can say like I've taken a couple losses, and I would never say that I take anything was a loss, because in every situation is a it's a learning process. So I know when I first started getting into it, like I feel like a lot of people took advantage of me being a girl doing things by myself. And I'm sure they wouldn't have done it with other male figures or something. But it is what it is. You live and learn, and you gotta just get your backbone a little stronger, get your team together stronger, have everything put together, where people can't just try to take advantage.
What about you, Sarah?
I've definitely experienced some stuff because I do a lot of cannabis conventions and all kinds of shows, and they're just like, oh, just go stand there and pass out flyers or
wear these booty shorts.
Yeah, wear these booty shorts. And I'm like, I'm better than that. Like, I have 10 years sales experience, and I know what I'm talking about when it comes to cannabis, because I've been in the cannabis industry for over 10 years, and I've smoked since I was
you're talking about,
young, so like I know what I'm talking about. So it sucks when they make you feel like that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And then, so all of us have definitely like built a name for ourselves. We've built brands. Do you feel like it might be easier now at this point to be a woman in this industry because of like Instagram, and that we have a little bit of like an easier reach, I guess?
Yeah, I was going to say there is also like, it is a little easier as a woman to get followers almost, and to get sales in a way, that's kind of, there's like a positive side end to it too.
Because I feel like definitely being a woman, we can own it, like not own up to it, but like
you get recognition more.
Yeah.
As like, before social media and stuff like that, it was harder to get your name out. But being a woman, and not only just the social media, but so many movements, the Me Too movements, it's like a lot of things where, we had a woman run for president. That's huge. So it's like women, we're just stepping up. It wasn't too long ago that we didn't have rights to vote or anything like that. So, now we definitely have bigger say. And if you just look at statistics, women are thriving in business. Period. CEOs, boss ladies everywhere. I think you're seeing more and more guys who are like becoming.
Yeah, what do we do now? Like, I'll work for you. I feel like women can kind of run a brand easier, and I feel like that's with any brand, just because like I do feel like most women are a little bit more organized. And we kind of have a vision like going into something of how we want things to look, whereas, not to say this is all guys, so guys that are listening out there don't get offended. But it's like we have like, I don't know, just design and everything like that. And like we think of all the small details, whereas like I feel like a guy can just like throw a sticker on something and not care and just be like, whatever, it'll sell.
Yeah, we're always planning ahead. Usually, the woman is the head of the household, and we'll say, hey, we're going to do this, or say the final say on what's going on. So I agree.
Now, have you ever been, because you do have a very, very large Instagram, like over 1 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever gotten afraid of your page getting deleted because of the cannabis?
Yeah, I still do. I still do get, like, sometimes I'm like, well, it hasn't happened to me yet, but what if? Yeah. So I'm just, careful on like how I do things, because I know there's like, it's still gray area. It's not federally legal. Like you cannot post like a certain shop, like give an actual address of where to go buy cannabis or something like that.
Yeah, just found that out.
I don't deal with the cannabis anymore. So now I'm just strictly like CBD, but even still, I think to myself, well, I hope I'm doing it, the right way and staying within the guidelines, so I don't just delete my stuff because I worked hard for it. You know,
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's
you guys
not
probably
easy to
feel
grow
the
that
same way.
big.
No,
You know what, Trippy? Didn't you have an incident recently?
I was
Yeah,
just about
she
to say
did.
that was my mindset the whole time too. I was like, oh, it hasn't had me. Like I'm playing it safe. I'm more of like the influencer route. I'm not like straight just smoking all the time. And then I got deleted. But it was honestly like I want to say it was more targeted like haters kind of stuff because I was just posting a lot of like I had like a collab come out and everything and just a bunch of stuff like that were really good. And then some person was just like, no.
So talking about haters, how do you guys all deal with haters on Instagram? Because I mean, like I just posted a bong video like yesterday,
haters on that?
and so many people were like, "You don't inhale, you don't inhale." Like these girls are just doing it for likes and blah 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 blah. I bet you don't even smoke weed, like 'cause you don't even know how to inhale. So like Jasmine, since your account was so large, like. And Trippy and Sarah, like, how do you guys all deal with haters in your own way?
That's a good. I feel like you're probably getting a lot of haters too because you don't look like the typical stoner. You know what I mean? You don't
Yeah.
have like a hoodie and you're just like chilling on your couch kind of thing. You know, like you look good and they're just like, oh, you probably don't even smoke. You're just doing it, you know, because it's cool now.
I mean, I always, tell. I just had some girl, and it's sad because as women we should be empowering each other, and not trying to
100%.
knock you down.
Yeah,
But I've had some girl post my booth from the champs, and we were packing up. It was already the third day, and I wasn't there on the third day, and she made like remarks, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, really, you had time to try to throw dirt because I wasn't there or something, but my brand, my name because you tagged me on everything. But I've never seen you ever tag me on something positive. This is the first time I've ever seen you in my DM. And I just, other people were like, oh, I can't believe it. But to me, I'm like, when you're doing something, if the person knows your name and they have enough energy to go out of their way and say something or do things like that, that means they're watching.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if they say,
sure.
if you ain't got no haters if you ain't popping, right?
No, that's a good point.
What about you, Trippy? How do you deal with the haters?
Honestly, I just don't give it like with that whole thing too. Like that girl was probably just looking for attention, So honestly, like they're just looking for some kind of recognition. And I've even had like true fans or just someone like, oh, I love you, like this, that, and then you don't give them anything or you happen to not respond because you're so busy, I
And
think
they
a lot
turn salty.
yeah, and then they just all of a sudden they're like, you know what, you suck. You don't even want you're not even a true person. It's like, all right, well,
Like, chill.
yeah, so I just smoke a J and just like forget about it, Like I remember all the good stuff going on and just like in real life, I don't have these people here. You know what I mean? Like you said, they're watching. They're
not going to come up to you and be like,
yeah, and if they probably wouldn't even if they saw me, they'd probably be like, oh hey, like yeah.
what about you, Sarah?
I just say thank you. Like they say something rude, and I'm like, thank you.
With a
And
smiley
then they have
emoji.
nothing to say.
Because like, how can you respond
Like, what are
negatively
you gonna
back to
say
that?
It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of talk like recently with the brand Ignite and people claiming that they're like over sexualizing women and all of that. And like, I mean, my personal opinion is like if they're getting in trouble for it, I've been doing it forever and taking half naked pictures with smoking weed. So like, I don't see a problem. But like, how do you guys feel about like the Ignite ads?
Yeah, what do you guys think about that?
The what ads?
The Ignite. So
Have you heard of Ignite?
Dan Blazerian, who he's been known to like, he's like this like.
He's a
Oh,
poker.
he's in Vegas.
He was a
right?
poker
Yeah.
player.
Uh-huh.
He was a big
He just
poker
got rich
player,
off poker.
and then he won a lot of money or something. I don't know. And then now he does cannabis.
But like
So-
everywhere he goes, like he's got like 15 girls
Yeah,
just like
basically.
with him all
With
the
him.
time, every trip.
Yeah.
Have you seen
everywhere.
this guy at all?
Yeah, I've seen
Okay.
some like his videos and he always
Yeah.
does like crazy videos and like edgy and over the top. So yeah,
so he
I mean, there's billboards all
Yeah.
over
All
LA.
over Hollywood.
Isn't
yeah.
there one in Vegas too?
probably I've
I
seen
think
them
there's
at
one
like
in Vegas.
dispensaries.
I mean, they're pretty
They're
big.
funny though. I
Really?
think they're funny, but
Yeah.
they're still like, come on, like if he could do it, then what's the issue with everybody else doing it? Like
My
why-
thing is like he's been doing it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's more like him bringing that to the industry, and then like, because I did a poll on this on my story too, because there was an article about it, and everything. Like everyone's just kind of really, they're like the one brand that's really bringing sexualization into the cannabis industry, I guess, and like bringing these pretty women that don't really smoke too much into the campaign ads.
See, that's what bugs me.
The girls,
The girls that don't even
They don't
smoke
even
weed,
smoke.
yeah,
advertising for his brand, like that he didn't try to get like actual like stoners. He got random girls that just are hot and have big Instagrams and that would never normally smoke weed for the most part or post about it to start being a part of it.
but also it's like, I mean, I did the poll, right? And then it almost was a 50-50 split. Like I totally thought it was going to be like all these people were going to say like, yeah, get him out of here, you know, get him out of the industry. But actually like some people were like, it happens. Like, you know what I mean? Other, like you said, other people are doing it too. So it's his brand if he wants to run it like that.
Look at all the girls who do like bong videos in like underwear and like there's definitely a worse side of things, I feel like.
And I also, that's another thing. I feel like he's not forcing these women to do anything, you know? Like he's literally just hiring them and they're more than willing to be in a campaign or billboard. You know,
And I'm sure they're getting paid, so.
And that's what I'm saying. Maybe, you know, they're getting actually booked and stuff.
All right, so we've touched a lot on social media. Like how do you ladies feel like social media has really helped your brand? Jasmine, if you want to start it off.
Definitely. I mean, social media has been a big outlet, not just for me, but, you know, for a lot of people. It was so much harder for independent artists. You know, you had to get with labels and stuff to put yourself out there for people to see you and get your audience. But I mean, now you can have your own audience and your own audience can get straight to you and see your new work, see the new stuff that you put out, your new products. One thing that, you know, I feel like I had an advantage was people knew me before social media. And so when I got social media, it was just a bigger plus, and it made me right in their faces all the time. They didn't have to wait till a new video came out or until a commercial or something. So definitely, I mean, social media is a big help. You know, like I said, anytime I have a new product or if I want to do a promotion on a product, I just post it. We're filming a show that's airing on Amazon Prime this summer, and I already, you know, we've done press releases already. I've already been able to tell my followers and my fans what is about to be dropped, as opposed to them just having to go and find it on their own.
That's crazy. So what is about to drop?
It's a new reality show. It's called Flex. It's going to be filmed in Atlanta. It's about, you know, entrepreneurs, influencers, but, you know, instead of just trying to bash each other, it's really about like people that stay in the gym and you show in the background of their life and the health that they put into it, you know, not just, okay, you know, like a whole bunch of drama. There is drama, don't get me wrong. But,
Gotta be.
yeah, it's gotta be because we need some drama. But yeah, it definitely shows like, you know, our personal lives of, you know, some of these influencers, entrepreneurs, music artists, and what we're really doing behind the scenes and how we maintain, you know, keeping a stable head and keeping a healthy lifestyle behind it. So I'm excited for this project. This is pretty dope. Do you guys have Amazon Prime?
I do.
I do actually. I just started something this morning.
I do now too. My mom got it for me. She's like, well, you know, I'm pretty sure you're retired next, so I wanted to get you a present, and she got me the Amazon Prime. I'm like, oh my god, it's so sweet. So I think it's pretty cool.
Are you going to be able to
exciting.
smoke on this show?
I don't know because like, you know, like we said before, it's not federally legal and stuff. But we have already been promoting my brands behind it in press releases and stuff. And another thing is with some of the trainers, they do like medicated yogas. Have you ever heard of those?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen
really
some
good.
stuff.
Like they,
Yeah,
how does
so-
that work?
Basically, you do like a little session before you start the class. They don't use, you know, tobacco papers. It's trying to smoke it as healthy as possible. And you meditate before you get into the yoga. Another thing that I touch base on, like with some trainers, is for the recovery. You know, like after, you know, having a really hard workout, you're really, really sore. And, you know, things like CBD and, you know, cannabis really does help with the healing and the pain of, you know, a hard workout. So I guess things like that.
mention what we just meant, how it's going to be a taboo of the past, a funny taboo. Marijuana will be.
Okay. I think we're still on this topic. I'll mention next.
Yeah, no problem. I was just reminding you guys.
Okay.
I'm going to edit this, obviously.
Okay.
Do you want to just jump into it?
Um,
Or do you want to keep talking
what
about
was the question? Sorry.
the question we were going on is do you feel like social media has helped you?
Oh, yeah.
'Cause you can
I was
tie
gonna
those
say
both in
something on
together.
Jasmine. I was gonna be
Okay.
like, that's a really good point, but I totally forgot, man. But it's okay. Wait, did you have anything else that you were going to add to that?
No, I said my thing with the
Yeah.
working out, the recovery, and then, the medicated yogas and stuff, how like people use it, in fitness.
I was just going to say that's a really good point, honestly, that you brought up there, all the hard work behind posting and keeping up, and then also having a healthy lifestyle. Like, you could get lost in I know a lot of people, honestly, that just sit at home and just on their phone the entire day, and then they don't actually have a life outside of their social media. So I'm actually excited to watch that show. I'm not even kidding. Or is it a movie or show?
What's that?
Is it a movie or is it a show?
It's a show. It's a reality series.
Dope.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for
I
that.
like that. And I like the name Flex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like social media has always helped me, obviously, just because I was doing accounting before that, and if I never got my social media following, I would have never gone into modeling. I would have never gone into anything that I've ever done in this lifetime at this point now. So it's honestly really only helped. Like, now I've been in campaign ads, I've worked with brands, like the biggest brands you could think of are like literally directly contacting me, and it's crazy to get sponsorships from the biggest brands you could think of, honestly, in the world at this point, because we're kind of like the highlight point.
The pioneers of this industry at this point.
It's really crazy to think about, honestly. And if social media wasn't it, then I would have never been here or never met you guys.
I know. It's connected so many people. What about you, Sarah?
So I just recently started posting more about cannabis on my Instagram because I was really scared to post it. So a lot of my posts are my modeling pictures and stuff like that. But I'm definitely posting a lot more cannabis stuff because I have been in the cannabis industry for a long time. I've just kind of been hiding like in the back, But I'm finally feel like I could show my face more and feel more comfortable about it. And my family is not super okay with it, but I think now that the laws have changed, it's a little bit more accepted. So,
Oh yeah, I want to.
but it's definitely helped me.
Family
for
is
sure.
definitely a big thing.
Yeah. What about
Yeah.
you, Angela? I'm sure it's all helped you.
Honestly, it's all helped. Like, before this, I worked a restaurant job and hated my life, and then got into cannabis, and then it kind of all just snowball affected. And here I am now. Like, it's crazy to see these brands that I used to see going to sessions and I'd love to work with them one day, and then next thing you know, they're in your emails, and it's like, wow, this is real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you were mentioning with the families and stuff. My family, they're old fashioned.
Yeah.
Most of them. But my parents, my sisters, the younger side of my family is pretty, accepted now.
Oh, really?
And I don't, I don't have any issues with it. But I'm not gonna lie, my grandma will still be like, Jasmine, you need to stop smoking.
Aww.
That's my mom.
Oh, my mom, I get
My mom
weed from
hates
my
it.
mom every month.
Oh yeah, you're lucky.
Yeah, you're so
Yeah, my
lucky.
dad hated it.
See, I'm the opposite.
Huh.
Your dad was okay with
My
it?
dad was okay with it. And yeah, my mom does not like it at all.
Yeah, my family has no idea I do any of it. Well, they
What?
did.
They don't know?
No, yeah, I have a double life. It's pretty funny.
And I'm scared.
No, I'm not even kidding. I had a family dinner with them the other day for my birthday coming up, and they were like, "Oh, so how's your office job?" And I was like,
my God.
"I'm not kidding." They were like, "Oh, are you getting overtime or what?" And I was like, "I don't even get
working a lot.
overtime. I have to act like I have lunch breaks and everything."
I'm dying. That's
No.
not great.
Do they not have Instagram or anything?
That's why I don't want to do Facebook, because I know they'll find my Facebook one day.
See?
Like,
Oh,
you know.
God.
But yeah,
Your
no.
videos are they have to be on.
They don't like any of that. They really do. They didn't even like finding a bong with me when I first moved out at like 19 years old, and they found my bong. They're like, "Oh my God, you're going to rehab. We're going to take you to rehab."
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're
That's how
pretty
my
bad,
mom was.
actually. Really?
Yeah, I had a whole box when I was like 18 of like my stuff, and it was like hidden. And she was like cleaning my room, and she found it, and she's like, I'm not even gonna talk to you. She's like, what is this? What is this? And like, I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, go look in the trash can. And I went in the trash can, and all my stuff was there. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, God.
I didn't even want to go back
Your
inside.
heart's, like,
I used to
pumping.
pinch
It
off
was
my
so
mom's
bad.
weed when I didn't have any. I would I knew where her
You're
spot
so
was. I would go like take a little bit and be like, she'll never know. And then recently I told her about it, and she was like, I had no clue.
She was probably stoned. She didn't.
Yeah.
The whole time.
I would get high and come home, and she would be making food for both of us. And I'm like, I know where you're at right now.
It's that hunger.
That'd be kind
But
of cool.
I definitely do think this is going to be a thing of the past where we look at it and, laugh. Like, I can't believe we were so strict on it because, I mean, with the alcohol, have you ever met a person who got so high that they went on a high rate and started beating people up?
No.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That don't happen. But I mean, alcohol, it does so much more damage to you. I mean, physically, mentally, emotionally, like even after like just a hangover, like you feel terrible. And I don't drink. So I don't miss those days when I did used to have hangovers because I never had a cap. I didn't know when to stop. As soon as I start drinking, I feel good. I'm like, oh, I can keep drinking. I'll keep drinking. And then like the next day, I'm just next 2 days, my stomach, everything, I'm shaking. I'm like, oh, I can't make it through. I couldn't eat or anything. So I don't miss those days. I don't miss any hangovers. And I have never had an issue like that with cannabis. So I'm looking forward to the day that we do look back on this. Like, oh my God, you smoke. I'm looking forward to the day that we look back on that.
100%. And there's so many more like women-owned brands like coming out now, and we're finding out like that women own certain brands. And we had I wasn't here unfortunately, but Trippy was, so I don't know if you want to talk about it. We had Sisters of the Valley last week on. How'd that go?
Yeah, no, it was really fun. Have you heard of them, Jasmine?
No.
They're pretty cool. They're actually, so they're nuns. Well, they're not real nuns actually, but they're dressed as nuns, and they call themselves nuns, and they just smoke weed, and they have their own grow. And that's just kind of how they market it. And they're called
But
Sisters
not
of the
like
Valley.
sexy nuns, right?
No, yeah, it's nothing like a weird Halloween nun. That's funny. No, they're like really respectful women. Yeah, no, you would think they're actual nuns. I would have never
Guessed.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was like illegal to say you're a nun if you're, you know what I mean? I didn't know how that worked, but I guess, it is what it is. They're doing it.
Right. Me too. I'm like, are you allowed to say that if you're not really?
I mean, they're
but
doing
that's
it.
a really dope concept, actually. It's really catchy.
Sisters.
Yeah,
of the
it's really
Valley.
cool. I've seen them at a party before too, and this one girl, she had like the nun costume, and then not costume, her uniform, and she was smoking 2 joints at one time. It was so funny.
my
I was like,
God.
wow, she's wild.
Or dabbing granny.
Oh, I love her.
yeah.
I love her. I love that there's so
cute.
many like women in this industry from like every different age, every different like
Yeah.
type of girl. Like
Yes.
That's so funny. That's
Dab and
me,
Granny.
yes.
We need Dab and Granny on here.
Yes, you do.
Oh my gosh.
She's
Where
amazing.
does she live?
She lives in Denver, or like Colorado
Oh,
Springs.
okay.
She's so
Yeah.
cute.
That's funny. That's gonna be us.
All right, I'm Angela Mazzanti, one of your hosts for this evening. Thank you so much to Jasmine David for coming on this week. Had a lot of fun talking to you about all the women empowerment and everything like that. So where can we
Thanks so
find
much.
you?
Yeah, thanks so much for bringing me back. I really, really enjoyed this talk. If you're not already following me, please make sure you do at Jasmine David. That's my handle for all social media accounts. And the Jazzy CBD, make sure you check it out. Go online, order. And like I said, I really enjoyed today's talk. It was really dope.
No, yeah, it was a great talk for sure. And then thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys next week. I'm Trippy Trees. You can find me on Instagram and YouTube at trippy.trees with a Z. And thanks again to Sarah for being out here with us.
Thank you for having me tonight, and make sure to follow me on Instagram at Sarah Hendricks. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Every Ferragamo bag, Ferragamo bag. Oh, girl, like a mommy bag, make my haters bag. Oh, girl. Strike a pose, strike a pose, strike a pose. Fling your hair and strike a pose, yeah. Strike a pose, strike a pose, strike a pose. Wipe it down, strike a pose, yeah. Come on, come on. Why you wanna pop? Pop, come on, come on. Get some commas in your pockets. Come on, come on. Always been a bad. Say my name, I will obliterate your whole clique. Give me all your money if you love me. I should win a Tony acting funny. I got my own crib, you wanna keep me company? Yeah, we can go